नमस्कार गुरुजी।
Namaskar. Starting in a minute.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Namaskar.
नमस्कार गुरुजी।
Namaskar.
नमस्कार गुरुगल।
Namaskar. Yeah, starting now. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Abhramam Bangaraitam Ajaram Vimalam Sada Anandatirthamatlam Bhajayetapत्रयापहं मिथ्या सिद्धांत दुद्धांत विध्वंसनविष्णुः जयतीर्थाकतनिर्भासितान् नवोदम्बरे अत्तिकल्पकल्पोऽयं प्रत्यत्यकेसरि व्यासतीर्थगुरुभूयात् अस्मदिष्टात् सिद्धये तपोविद्याविरक्त्यादि सद्गुणोगाकराणं वादिराजगुरुनन्देः कृताश्रयान् पूज्य राघवेन्द्राय सिद्धर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे दुर्वादिध्वान्तरवये वैष्णवेन्दीवरेन्दवे श्रीराघवेन्द्रगुरुवे नमोऽत्यन्ते आळवे आपादमनुपर्यन्तं गुरूणामाप्तिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति मनोरथाः हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. We are doing the Bhagavad Gita, third adhyaya. We have come to the concept where how Indriya Nigraha has to be done, what is the need for it, how to do. So in coming with that thing, so Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that how the Indriya Nigraha for the Kama, Krodha, all these are like our enemies. So if we want to attack any enemy, we have to find out what's the strength of the enemy, where the enemy is hiding. So how to approach the attack, all these are needed. Even for the internal enemies, these are not like enemies outside, they are enemies within us, but still we need to know how to approach this issue of controlling the real enemies for us, the internal enemies. And there we saw the sloka, Indriyani manobuddhi asya adhisthanamuchyate yeter vimohayatyesha jnanamavrutya dehinam. So this kama, krodha, all this cluster of things with the mind, because without the manas, support of the mind, it won't, the indriyas won't actually function. For indriyas, so many times we see we are looking at some object, but if our mind is somewhere else, even though that object is in front of us, we don't concentrate on that. Somebody said, did you see that? Oh, I didn't see it. But you're seeing that. But you say, oh, I didn't see it, because your mind is somewhere else. So if your eyes or ears or anything, sometimes you are absent-minded. Somebody is saying something. You actually, you're right next to the person, but you won't be registering it. You won't be paying the attention. So if the person is saying something, but, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Oh, did you say something? You ask the person. So all the sense organs, they need the mind. That's why manaha buddhi asya adhisthana uchyate. For all the indriyas, manasu and buddhi, both are needed for them to function. And the way the indriyas, along with the help of manas and buddhi, the act on us is initial stages, even before acquiring paroksha jnana, they are obstacles to obtain the paroksha jnana. Even after acquiring paroksha jnana, they are obstacles to obtain aparoksha jnana. Even after acquiring aparoksha jnana, still they affect us intermittently, but after one becomes an aparoksha jnani, the power of the indriyas and the manas and the buddhi will be under the control for the person for the aparoksha jnani most of the time. Sometimes they may go out of control, but the aparoksha jnani will bring them back into control again. So, but for paroksha jnani, they are much more active. So in paroksha jnana, like what we're all, even on the path to paroksha jnana, we have not yet become paroksha jnanis. We are on the path to become paroksha jnanis. Even after becoming paroksha jnanis, these things will be hindering us. So that is how jnanam avrutya dehinam. mohayati. By encompassing, enveloping the knowledge, they mm, create the delusion to the Atma. Dehi is nothing but the Deha. Whatever has the Deha is Dehi. So Dehi refers to the Atma. So that because the Deha body is just a jada, is just a tool for us. But what is affected is actually the Atma. So for the Atma, the Moha is created. That's how it says. And then Krishna says, Tasmat tvam indriyanyado niyamya bharatashava papmanam prajahihi enam jnana vijnana nashanam. We talked about jnana, vijnana, what it is. Jnana, vijnana. Both of the faculties. Jnana is samanya jnana. Vijnana is vishesha jnana, which actually is a stronger force. Like, we have two different castles. One castle is the outer castle is jnana. The inner stronger castle is vijnana. Both these castles are affected by these indriyas and other things. So, jnana vijnana nashanam papmanam prajahi. Give up this thing that drives us in the path of sins, this jnana vijnana destroying forces, that indriyas, control them. If you control them, they become a tool for your progress. If you don't control them, they become obstacles for your progress. This is uh, the instruction Krishna gives. And then an interesting concept is given here. Next sloka, 42nd sloka, that tells which one is superior. Both, you have to look at our own gradation in the faculties and gradation in the abhimani devatas of the faculties, both. So the tartam is so interesting. The gradation, you say this devata is more than this devata. It's not just a random picking up, okay, you're saying just this devata is more, that devata is less. It's not a random pick. In real life also, like for example, we looked at the mind, how mind is much superior to the sense organs. Sense organs, they are dependent upon the mind. That mind, Mano Abhimani Devata is Rudra. Rudra Rupi Paramatma is the Abhimani Devata for the mind, and Indriya Abhimani Devatas are there, and also Tanmatras, the Vishayas, their Abhimani Devatas are also there. So many forces are there, and their Abhimani Devatas are there. And Krishna gives a kind of a gradation. Indriyani parani ahuhu. So Indriyani parani ahuhu. Indriyas are super or superior. Superior to what? We'll talk about it. And Indriyebhyaha param manaha. The ones that is superior to the Indriyas. Indriya means sense organs. The superior to the sense organs or is the mind. Mind is superior to the sense organs. And manasastu para buddhihi. Buddhi, intellect. The intellect is superior to the mind. And buddhehe parastu saha. So, para buddhi, yo buddhehe paraha tu saha. One who is superior to this buddhi also, that is the Paramatma. So, he is all supreme, superior. And here, Indriyas are superior to what it didn't say. But from other pramanas, from elsewhere, we have Sharira Abhimani Devatas. We have Abhimani Devatas for different parts of our body. And Abhimani Devata for the entire Sharira is there. All these are there. So, whatever the Abhimani Devatas are there for the Sharira, Indriya Abhimani Devatas are superior to the Sharira Abhimani Devatas. If we look at the materialistic world point of view, our body is very important, of course. Body is very important. But look at a small injury to hand or leg or something, small injury happens, that's fine. But if an injury happens to the eye or the ear, it's a big problem. So they are more useful for us, more materialistic, they matter a lot more for us. So that's why compared to the body and other bodily parts that are external to us, compared to that, mm, the indriya or the sense organs are of more importance. Same way, the Abhimani devatas of the body or body parts, compared to them, Indriya Abhimani devatas, the presiding deities of the sense organs, they are higher, they are superior. And compared to Indriya Abhimani devatas, Vishaya Padartha Abhimani devatas, and compared to them, Mano Abhimani devata, and Mano Abhimani devata compared to him, Buddhi Abhimani devata. And compared to Buddhi Abhimani Devata, Mahatattva Abhimani. So the ones that are not mentioned in this sloka, Mahatattva is not mentioned. Avyakta Tattva is also not mentioned. But Krishna gave a broader outlook, just, skipping some steps. The other steps are available from elsewhere, like maybe Brahma Sutras and also other Puranas and even Bhagavata, other places. This gradation is given in Yoga. It is given in a rough way, rough fashion. So, Acharya says in destroying the enemies, Ayatha Rupa Jnana and Jnaya, all that when you talk about that, then he says how the gradation is happening. So, Bhagavata Gunopasamhasa Abhita Ananda. So, here basically saying we have what is called Sharira Abhimani Devatas, and compared to them, the Vishaya, that means matters like, for example, Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha, which is touch, sound, form or shape, and taste, and the smell. There are Abhimani Devatas for these faculties also, like Umadevi and the Patnis of Garudasesha Rudra Patnis, they are all Abhimanis for this. Compared to them, Garudasesha Rudras are superior. And Garudasesha Rudras, they are Abhimani Devatas for mind. So compared to Uma, Varuni, and Sauparni. Sauparni is the wife of Garuda. Varuni is the wife of Shesha. Uma Devi is wife of Rudra. So compared to Uma and Varuni and Sauparni, Garuda Sesha Rudras are higher, superior. So they are superior, who are Manu Abhimani Devatas. Compared to Manu Abhimani Devatas, Buddhi Abhimani Devata, Saraswati Devi. And of course, Bharati is, like now Bhavi Saraswati. Just as Vayu is Bhavi Brahma, that means in the next Kalpa, the current Vayu becomes Brahma in the next Brahma Kalpa. Same way, in the current Bharati, who is Vayu Patni, becomes the Saraswati. Actually, now a lot of people know is a Bharati is used because they're Bhavi. Interchangeably they use, like Saraswati and Bharati. Same way they interchangeably use Vayu Brahma because they're same Padavi, but we have to, contextually we have to go. How do I know whether it's Vayu or Brahma? How do you know whether it's Saraswati or Bharati? When we say Bharati, we mean Saraswati. How? So these questions come contextually. We decide when it is actually Vayu Patni Bharati, when Brahma Patni Saraswati, when it's Vayu, when it is Brahma. Contextually, we'll take it. So, but anyway, compared to Garuda Rudras, Saraswati Bharatis are higher, they're superior. They are Abhimani Devatas for Buddhi, Saraswati Bharati. And then the Buddhehe Paratastu Paramatma, but Paramatma is superior to Buddhi. But in between Buddhi and Paramatma, there are two more layers. Saraswati Bharati, compared to Saraswati Bharati, Brahma Vayu are superior to Saraswati and Bharati. And Brahma, if you take his Mahatattva Abhimani, Vayu is Bhavi Brahma. In the next Brahma Kalpa, he will become Brahma. So Chaturmukha Brahma is Mahatattva Abhimani. I know, like, for some of you, these are maybe a little bit confusing, but we'll deal with that at some other point of time. But basically, uh, when the Srushti, creation happens from Mula Prakriti, Avyakta is created. Lakshmi Devi, she is Avyakta Tattva Abhimani, and from Avyakta Tattva, Mahat Tattva comes, and from Mahat Tattva, Ahankara Tattva comes. From Ahankara Tattva, the Indriya and also Indriya Vishayas and all that, Tanmatras, they're all created. And all this creation process goes on. So the way the creation process happens is also according to the Taratamya or the gradation. So compared to Buddhi, what is superior to Buddhi? Intellect, right? Intellect is something that we all know of. What we don't know is Mahat Tattva and Avyakta Tattva. That's why Krishna did not mention in this sloka, but conceptually elsewhere it is presented that compared to Saraswati Bharati, Brahma Vayu are superior. So Brahma is the Mahat Tattva Abhimani. So Mahat Tattva is superior to Buddhi Tattva. And Avyakta Tattva is Lakshmi Devi. Herself is Avyakta Tattva. So Avyakta Tattva Abhimani is Lakshmi Devi. She is superior to Brahma Vayu. So Avyakta Tattva is superior to Mahat Tattva. So Brahma Vayu, compared to them, Lakshmi is superior. Lakshmi is superior to Brahma and Vayu. And compared to Lakshmi, Paramatma is also supreme. So Avyakta Tattva Abhimani Lakshmi Devi is under the control of all supreme Paramatma. So this gradation is given. How does this gradation help? One is for upasana, for doing the seva, puja, and one way the gradation helps. You know the gradation of the devatas, you can worship them according to the gradation. That is okay for the puja, seva, whatever. But in day-to-day life, you see that the intellect is is superior to mind because mind says always oscillate. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Mind is oscillating. Then the intellect comes and says, hey, no, you do like this. It gives you judgment capacity. It says, okay, this is the right, this is wrong. So the buddhi sits above the mind. The mind sits above the sense organs. Sense organs are controlled by the mind, as we talked about it earlier. The mind is necessary for the sense organs to function. Rudra is necessary for other Indriya Abhimani Devatas to function. And Rudra needs Saraswati Bharati grace. So Saraswati Bharati, so when we talk about Rudra in the same Kaksha, Garuda also will come, Garuda Rudra. Compared to Garuda Rudras, Saraswati Bharati is higher. So Buddhi Tattva is superior to the mind Tattva. So the mind is oscillating. Buddhi comes and tells, okay, do like this. Decision power, judgment power comes from Buddhi. Mind gives the power for the sense organs to function. Like this, in our day-to-day life, if we want to control our sense organs, we have to control our mind. And for controlling the mind, we need to control the buddhi. And for controlling the buddhi or intellect, we need, then we don't know the Avyakta, but we pray Lakshmi Devi, O Mate, please protect me from becoming a victim to my intellect and mind. Let my mind and intellect be under my control. So Avyakta Tattva is not directly visible to us in our sadhana prapancha, but it is there. Lakshmi Devi is controlling the Mahat Tattva, and Mahat Tattva Abhimani Brahma is controlling the Manas Tattva or Ahankara Tattva. Ahankara, as we talked about a few times, the mind, Manas, Ahankara Tattva, Manas Tattva, Buddhi Tattva, they are, as a Tattva, they are all similar, but there is a subdivision, five-way division in this Tattva. It is called Manasu, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, and Chetana. Five, we call Pancha Antakaranas, internal organs. The five internal organs are Manasu, Buddhi, Ahankara means not arrogance. There is one other me, Ahankara. Oh, he's very Ahankara. He has a lot of arrogance. But ahankara, positive side is awareness of I exist. Aham jnana. I am aware of my existence. That awareness of myself is also called ahankara. It's a positive, good side of ahankara. There's a bad, negative side of ahankara is arrogance. Arrogance is bad. But I should know that I am there. I should know my own existence. So awareness of I, myself, is also ahankara. So Manasu, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta and Chetana. Chitta is short-term memory, memory within the life, one lifetime. Chetana is the memory across the lifetimes. In one lifetime to another lifetime, we remember something. Is from the Chetana faculty. See, Chetana has two different meanings. One is Chetana. Jiva is also called Chetana. But the internal organ is also called same name. But the internal organ Chetana is a Jada actually. But the Chetana that we talk about, Jiva, is actually Chetana. It's a confusing. It's a little confusing, but same word is used for two different things. So we have to be careful there. Chetana as the mind faculty is Jada and it will go away for a long term memory. But Chetana. So same word, two different things. One is Prakrutika, another is Aprakrutika. The Atma Chetana is Aprakrutika. The Jada Manastattva Chetana is Prakrutika. So Prakrutika means it is related to the Prakriti, nature. So that we have to be careful. So that's why he says, Krishna tells this gradation and he explains, Evam buddhehe param buddhva samstabhya atmanam atmana jahi shatrun mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. So this is actually the last sloka of this adhyaya. We'll talk about this sloka in the next class in detail. That is the 43rd sloka, which is the last sloka of this adhyaya. Hare Srinivasa. Any questions are there? You can unmute and ask me. Hare Srinivasa.
Guruji, one question.
Sure.
Uh, is the ego same as Ahankara Tattva?
Yeah.
Is it the same in all sense or?
Yeah. In every sense, actually, the ahankara, the positive ahankara, which is awareness of I, and the negative ahankara, which is arrogance, both come under mana. Because the mana, how do we feel ahankara, the arrogance? It is also because of the mind, the functioning of the thing. So, when we talk about the tattva, we are talking about the positive aspects of it, but the negative sides of, for all of this, there's a negative side also. For
Right.
example, manas can be a good mind, good status, or it can lead it into bad turmoils. Buddhi also, it can be sad buddhi or durbuddhi. Same way, sat ahankara, durahankara. Durahankara is arrogance. That is also under this tattva only. Sat ahankara is awareness of I. That is also in this tattva only. Same way, chitta and chetana, the positive aspect is we remember that. And negative aspect, we forget, we don't remember. Forgetfulness. That is also chitta, the negative side of it. Same way, chetana, the long-term memory, that if we get something, it's a positive. If we don't get something, it's negative. So you have positive and negative. All of them fall in the same pancha antakaranas.
Okay. One more question, Guruji.
Yeah.
Now, how does our sense of ego develop really? Because as a baby, the baby doesn't have any ego. Do we carry this from our vasanas, and is it dormant in the baby stage, or does
Baby
it depend
also,
on,
yeah.
or
Baby
does it
also is aware.
depend?
Baby doesn't have the negative arrogance because the
Right,
baby, but it has the positive because baby, I am hungry. It knows it. I want to be cuddled. It knows it. Even an infant, newborn infant, has
right,
this, ahankara, the positive side ahankara is there. That's why we talk about only the positive side because the positive side is present even in a newborn baby because the newborn baby knows hunger, cries it, and when it is crying, I am crying, somebody will come and pick up. That expectation is there. So the positive side of ahankara is there for the baby also. But the negative side ahankara, it comes only over a period of time, only when it grows up. then only the negative side of all this will come. But the positive side, ahankara, awareness of I, myself, is there even for the newborn baby.
Right, right. Guruji, so as the baby grows, like does it depend on the sensory inputs or the conditioning, the environment, how the ego really, the negative side of it develops from there on?
Yes, the negative side comes because what happens is the vasanas, the mental impressions are there. So
Right,
as the baby grows up, it becomes bigger and bigger. The sense organs are used. That's why it's a vairi. We call enemies. Through the sense organs, the baby is receiving all the info. It is seeing its parents. It is sees people around it. Oh, that person is so selfish or so arrogant. Talks about it, and the baby learns depending upon each baby is different. Some babies may learn at the age of 3, some babies learn at the age of 10, some babies may learn at the age of 15, depending on the innocence of the baby, the conditioning of the baby, the swabhava of the baby. So many things are independent, but the negative side of not only ahankara, but the enemies, the way they attack, depending upon the swabhava of the jiva, it can appear at different times for different because the everybody is different. For some
right.
babies, they may develop ahankara even at the age of 4 or 5. Some babies may develop ahankara only at the age of 30 or 40. I mean, not even baby, they are grown-ups, like they may not even have ahankara at the age of 25 also. They may develop ahankara at the age of 30. Possible. So it is individualistic. It depends upon the jiva yogyata. Everybody need not develop the negative side of the ahankara at the same age. Depending upon the yogyata, at different ages they may develop this.
Yeah, understood. Thank you very much, Guruji.
Sure.
Namaskar, Gurugala.
Namaskar.
In terms of the gradation that you alluded to earlier,
Yeah.
typically in terms of when we are worshipping Venkateshwar Swami, we say Shri Devi and Bhudevi.
Yeah.
So where does Bhudevi come under in terms of gradation?
Yeah. Actually, it is a good question. Actually, not only Sri Bhu Durga also. Three are Lakshmi forms only. In the gradation, Sri Devi, Bhudevi, and Durga Devi. All three are at the same level. They are at the second. So there are actually three different forms of the same goddess Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi takes three different forms. Of course, this is very confusing because there is a Bhudevi who is the Artha Abhimani Devata. So confusion, same name. The Artha Abhimani Devata Bhudevi has the Lakshmi Bhudevi inside her as the instigating force. That's why it's called Bhudevi. So the Bhudevi, also called Dhara Devi, the Artha Abhimani Devate, has Lakshmi Devi Bhudevi as the Niyamaka Shakti inside. And it gets the same name Bhudevi. So whenever we say Bhudevi, we have to see the context, whether we are referring to the Bhudevi. Actually, she comes much lower in 25 or whatever, Sanishchara Deva. At that Kaksha she comes. So she's way below. But the Lakshmi Devi comes at the second category, right after Narayana. Both have same name. But the Lakshmi Bhudevi is Rajoguna Abhimani. So there are three gunas, as you might have heard: Sattva Rajoguna, Tamoguna. And Lakshmi takes three forms: Shri, Bhu, and Durga, and she controls. Shri Devi controls the Sattva Guna, Bhu Devi controls the Rajoguna, Durga Devi controls the Tamoguna, but strictly speaking, the Sri Bhu Durga are the three different formations of the same goddess Lakshmi Devi. So there is no get. Bhu Devi is higher or lower than Sri Devi. There is no such thing. Sri Bhu Durga are same because the same goddess takes three different forms. That's all. So Bhu Devi is Rajoguna Abhimani, Sri Devi is Sattoguna Abhimani, Durga Devi is Tamoguna Abhimani. In our shastras, the confusing aspects is a lot of these names have multiple ones addressed by the same name, which is very, very confusing. But the confusion will go away if we look at all the Puranas and their Vakyas and analyze, depending upon the context, the confusion will go away. Like Durga Devi, Parvati also takes Durga avatar. Durga Devi is Parvati also. Durga Devi Lakshmi also. Durga is Narayana himself. In Vishnu Sahasranama, you get the name Durga. So look, Durga Devi is Narayana also. So which Durga we are talking about? Contextually, we have to go. The Parvati Durga has the Lakshmi Durga as the Antarniyamaka. Lakshmi Durga has Paramatma as the Antarniyamaka. So they all have the same name. Durgneyatva Durganama. It is very difficult to understand. That's why it's called Durga. Paramatma is also very difficult to understand, but he's most difficult. So he's the most highest Durga. Lakshmi Devi is second level Durga. Parvati is third level of Durga. That doesn't mean putting down Parvati, because even that is so great. I mean, right next to, Lakshmi Devi as Antaryami, Parvati Devi is not ordinary thing. The Parvati Durga is also very, very high, great Devata only. Nothing putting down. Because when you say vice president is less than president, that means we are not saying that vice president is useless. Just saying, okay, vice president reports to president. That's all. But vice president also is very high post only. Like that, Durga Devi Parvati is also very great Devata only, but same name. Lakshmi Devi Durga, same name. Paramatma, same way Bhudevi. Dhara Devi Bhudevi is 25th Kaksha, somewhere so lower. But Bhudevi Lakshmi is Rajoguna Abhimani. She's same as Sri Bhu Durga. Three different forms of same goddess Lakshmi.
Understood, Gurugala. Dhanyawad.
Sure.
Many, many namaskar.
Okay.
Namaskara, Gurugala.
Yeah, namaskara.
Um, so the Tamoguna Abhimani Durga Devi, so is she the one who is preraka of all the asuras?
Yes, basically Tamoguna Abhimani, she is the one who gives the Ajnana, and yes, she is Preraka for all the Devata. So as Sri Bhudurga, she gives the Prerana for all the lower Devatas. Brahmavayu starting from all the Devatas, she is Preraka, yes.
So in that case, why would we actually pray Durga Devi?
Because it's very, very important, because it's not only Durga Devi gives the Ajnana, she takes away the Ajnana. For both she is needed. For giving
Ah,
the Ajnana, she is needed. For the undeserving people, she gives Ajnana. For deserving people, she takes away the Ajnana. So we
okay.
need her grace to take away the Ajnana.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Gurugala.
Sure.
Another question.
Yeah.
So in the Taratamya part,
Yeah.
Garuda Shesha Rudra,
Mm.
they fall in the same Kakshay.
Yes.
And still, Rudra Deva is one step lower than the Shesha Deva.
Not
And
really. They are same ability wise, they are all same Kaksha. And today's Rudra
in
in
sadhana.
next Kalpa becomes actually Sesha. So Sesha is actually higher Padavi than Garuda. Rudra. Sesha,
Uh,
just as Brahma is higher Padavi to Vayu,
uh-huh.
Sesha is higher Padavi to Rudra, and Rudra does the lot of tapas to obtain the Sesha Padavi. Because for Sesha, he has the grace of constantly having the touch of Paramatma. Rudra does not have that grace. So Rudra actually wants that constant touch of Paramatma, so he does tapas to obtain the Sesha Padavi.
So in that case, when we say the Abhimani Devata, does it
Yeah,
actually refer to the Shesha Deva or even the Rudra Deva
yeah.
also?
Sesha Deva also has Abhimanitva, Sharira and all that, but Rudra Deva, just like, for example, Vayu Deva, we are all talk about Vayu. Brahma, we don't talk about it. Vayu Deva is taking more active role. Because Vayudeva, when it becomes the next Kalpa Brahma, becomes constantly meditating upon Paramatma. The current Brahma has done his sadhana the previous Kalpa as a Vayu. So now the active part is taken by Vayu.
Okay,
But
okay.
Vayu and Brahma, they are together all the time. Though Vayu is in the upfront doing all the active part, Brahma is right behind, supporting Vayu. Same way, Rudra is like Mano Abhimani Devate doing lot of work up front, but supporting him behind, Sesha is there.
Oh, thank you very much, Gurugala. Namaskara.
Sure. Namaskar. Okay. Any questions are there? We'll continue the next session. Hare Srinivasa.
Hare Srinivasa. Namaskara, Gurugala.
Namaskar.
Hare Srinivas. Namaskar.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ
ಗುರುಜಿ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ
Namaskara. So
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
same link, I'll go it out and come back.